Hi, I am Srinivasan Ramachandran, also known as Ashok. I am a researcher in computer vision, geometry processing, and artificial intelligence. This video is about a presentation of a product pitch deck. The name of the product is Amaippu. Amaippu means structure. And this video is going to discuss about the potential problems and the solution it can offer for the interior space designing industry. To better understand the product pitch deck, I have sectioned it into three important sections. And those three important sections are preceded by three important questions. And these questions are why, what, and how. Now, without further ado, let's jump ahead into the product idea. So, as I said earlier, the agenda will be, we will start with an introduction where the why question will be explored, and we'll look into the current solution which answers the what has been done so far question and what is the solution that we are offering. Finally, answering how it can be solved question. So, let's understand the context, put some context, and ask the question why. Who are the target audience, you might ask? The primary target audience for this product are the interior designing firms, and not only the firms, it can also cater to the freelance interior designers. And the secondary audience are the supply vendors in the interior design industry. Vendors like who supply the necessary home construction hardwares like hinges, doorknobs, etc. And raw material suppliers like wooden planks, laminate sheets, etc. And the list goes on. And also we have the artisans, the labor force who work in the interior space design industry as carpenters, lathing unit owners, and manufacturers. Now that we know who the target audience for the product is, let's move on to the problem statement. The problem statement that is being faced by the interior space designing industry today is threefold: the digitization aspect, the output aspect, and the tracking aspect. Let's look into a bit more detail about the digitizing. So there is a need to seamlessly design and plan the interior spaces. At the same time, it should be more engineering compliant. So we need CAD-based solutions to design these interior spaces. And such tasks should also be automated to an extent to produce visualization data that can be appealing to their clients or customers. The next aspect is the aspect of output. When I do such a design, I want to have access to intelligent data. And what do I mean by intelligent data? I should be able to inform the users on the cost and timeline for undertaking an interior space design project. And to complete the project successfully, I should have a way to connect with the vendors, suppliers, or the labor force required for the completion of the project, irrespective of the time and the geographical location. And thirdly and finally, the aspect of tracking. The project has begun, and I can give you two examples of tracking. The project has begun. I have placed the order for the materials required for the completion of my project. I need to know where they are and when they are going to arrive. And finally, on the project, there is a team working on the project, which is my labor workforce. I want to know how the project is progressing. That's what we call it as job tracking. So these are the problem statements. Now let's look at the solutions that the product offers. The solution offers a better planning phase, and it comes at a reduced cost, and it offers enhanced networking abilities. For the planning phase, it gives you tools to get the project completed faster, and it offers tools to produce an efficient cost analysis with an inbuilt ERP layer, and it also offers team collaboration tools to help your workforce collaborate seamlessly and get the project done in no time. And the second aspect is the reduced cost. Such a product is not going to be expensive. It can be taken at a nominal subscription model, and at times when you feel you require more services, you can take the service as a pay-as-you-go model. And thirdly, importantly, the interior design industry has just to focus on the design. They don't have to invest in huge expensive hardware setup required for producing visualization data such as virtual reality output, renderings to impress their clients. They just have to make the design and everything else is ready for them. Finally, about the networking, this product offers them a market or a medium to find workforce when and where they are necessary. And they should also be able to showcase their finished products. They need a proper medium to showcase their finished products that's interactive and also non-interactive. And importantly, they need a platform where they can showcase these products. And finally, on the networking part, this product can help them connect with vendors irrespective of the geographic location. So we answered the why. Now it's time to analyze the what has been done until now, implying we are going to look at the current solutions that are in place to address the problems and the solutions that's been explained so far. Digitizing spaces and intelligent data. To give the context, the general AutoCAD solutions that they have today, it's very difficult to adapt, either for interior space designing or for parametric designing, or it comes at a shortfall of ERP layers. There does exist some solution, but they invite other challenges as well. Firstly, such a product incurs a heavy license cost, and secondly, the ERP aspects are hugely limited, and finally, as part of the visualization process, it's difficult to produce visualizations that are compatible across the devices like smart devices and VR devices. So let us look at, in a summary, the tasks and challenges faced by the industry so far. The primary task is to design and envision the entire space, and they need to have an ability to integrate parametric models in their space design. But the first and the foremost challenge is the ERP layers are severely limited. By achieving these two tasks, it's difficult to produce the generation of cut lists or to produce a sheet of what are the parts that I need to assemble this particular piece of furniture or to design this whole room. And the bill of quantities. The bill of quantities is another challenge faced by the industry, where they have difficulty trying to estimate the quantity and the price for each sub parts that they require in their project. So these two aspects of cut list and BOQ severely limits the third aspect, which impacts the prediction or to perform a cost analysis of the project. And finally, with these three challenges, the final and the fourth challenge is the aspect of project management. The project has begun. I don't have an idea of how the project is going ahead and what is a way to quantitatively measure how the project has progressed. There are some solutions, as I said earlier, or fewer solutions exist that do some of them, most of them, but there is not a solution that does all of them. So the first solution that we are going to look in the market is microvellum. The advantages of microvellum are it can implement parametric furnitures, it has an excellent CAD integration, and it can do BOQ and cut list generation. However, there is no ERP layer, or the solution is not installable or portable across devices, and finally it incurs a heavy license cost. The next solution that we are going to look at is 2020. Even in 2020, the advantages are parametric furnitures, excellent CAD integration, bill of quantities, and cut list generation. However, it also lacks the ERP layer. It's purely a desktop software, and it's installable, and it is not portable across devices. And finally, similar to microvellum, it also incurs a heavy license cost. And thirdly, it's a much lesser known software. However, it does have some significant tools. TOWin is the name of the software. What are the advantages? It does parametric furnitures, and it has excellent CAD integration, and it does bill of quantities and cut list generation. Even it offers VR outputs, which is something different, or it makes TOWin stand out from the first two solutions that we have seen so far. Again, the disadvantages are there is no ERP layer, and it is not installable or portable across devices. Again, it also invites the same problem as the former two solutions that we looked at, heavy license cost. We have SketchUp. The advantages are it's web-based, lighter tool, and also portable across devices. The license cost compared to the other three is much lesser. The disadvantages again are there is no ERP solution. Importantly, it is not an exclusive solution for architecture. Now we saw the why and we have explored the what. It's time to propose how we are going to solve this. The fundamental philosophy of the product will be KISS. Keep it simple and simpler. In my opinion, architects who work on an interior design project, they have to worry only about designing the project. Rather, the situation is much different today. They struggle with the selection of tools to do the architectural designs. They struggle with cost estimation. Thereby, the project incurs sometimes heavy losses, resulting in imbalanced money flow to the company. And they struggle with project management and successful delivery because of the non-availability of collaborative tools between the teams. They have struggled to connect with vendors and suppliers during the execution of the project. And they struggle with producing efficient presentations to appeal to their customers or clients. When we talk about presentations, they spend a lot of time doing PowerPoint slides, and they don't even think about doing ideas like VR to simulate the space that they have designed. It is completely out of the question. And finally, they struggle with hardware related costs, provided they're willing to invest in rendering their designs. So what are the prototypes we have available? So far for the interior designing, the original idea started as an open source project. It's called as Blueprint.js. It's quite a famous project. And this project has seen implementations for multiple clients internationally. Then we have the parametric component designer, which came after the Blueprint.js project. This component designer is completely or solely aimed at producing furnitures that are completely formula driven, and it runs on the web. Finally, we have the rendering pipeline integration, which is a tool to make the designs done on the web using Blueprint.js and produce amazing visualization results. So the first tool that we are going to look at is the component designer. Again, the fundamental philosophy of KISS has been adapted here. It's BIM compliant, meaning the measurements match to the real world. So it is possible to produce cut list and bill of quantities that will give you the exact ratio to the real world measurements. It's a web-based solution used for parametric component designing, and it can also be an inventory editor for creating designs for such as cabinets, wardrobes, doors, and windows. The next tool is the interior designer based on Blueprint.js. Again, the fundamental philosophy is KISS, keep it simple and simpler interface. It's also BIM compliant, a web-based solution for 2D and 3D floor planning. Once a design is complete, the design can be exported using another tool for 3D rendering and virtual reality purposes. And it has integrated with parametric designer, so the user can have a live visualization of how the parametric furniture will look in the particular space design, the interior space design. Again, this tool is also cross-platform and it works across smart devices as well. Finally, this tool has the ability to do the HD rendering as explained earlier, and it is VR ready. The third tool is a work in progress. This is the most important layer of the project or the product. This layer gives the clients or the end customers, the architects of the interior space design organizations, to manage client projects. It gives them a tool to produce the cut list, a tool to do the bill of quantities, and it gives them project management tools to do the tracking of the job progression. It gives them infrastructure to connect with suppliers and vendors, and real-time updates of costing and asset availability based on a bot that always watches for the prices across the globe. Finally, this ERP layer, it connects with the component designer and the interior designer that we saw so far. So let's look at where the market size is. On the left, you see the report by TD Fall, which is purely based on USA. So the value of sales projected is approximately 9 billion in USD. On the right, you see the market projection for UAE or United Arab Emirates, where the market is expected to grow up to 4.36 billion in the year 2028. So where does this product work globally? So the potential countries with projections can be the North American continent, the European continent, and the Asian continent. Thank you for listening to the product idea. Now it's time to look at some of the prototypes that have been done so far. This is the original Blueprint.js project. So it gives you a 2D interface to design or do your floor planning, and it gives a 3D viewer as well to visualize how the design looks like in real life. This is rather a very skeletal view as it is an open source project. What we're going to look at now is one of the implementations based on this. But before that, we look at the parametric designer. This is the parametric designer interface where the user can select multiple parts and they can edit the formulas as shown here to control how the end furniture looks like. It also comes with material editing, animating editing, etc. And another important tool of this component designer is that parametric designer is that the users can simulate the actions of multiple subparts of the furniture. For example, if you want to simulate the drawer or the doors, it is possible to simulate how they look like. For example, as it shown here. So this is our component designer. This is the blueprint.js. Let's look at both of these tools in action, which was an implementation done recently. So this is the design that you saw so far. So you can add the required furnitures. It has extensive tools like lighting controls and other cool features. And this is the parametric design, where the user can parametrically control the width, height. By controlling these three simple values, they are able to control the end output of the parametric furniture. So as I said, we have lighting tools on this. For example, I want to control the sunlight. I can control the aspects like intensity. If you look at here, it shows how the sunlight falls into the room. I can control the intensity, the distance to the light, and the elevation. And this controls the position of the sun. Finally, I was talking about the rendering layer. A tool has been made where it's easy to transfer your designs to the rendering pipeline. This way, the interior space design company or the freelance designer, they don't have to invest in huge setup costs for the hardware required to render your output. So this is one such output of the design that you saw right now, which gives you access to advanced rendering techniques using a simple web-based tool such as the Blueprint.js and Parametric Designer. Once again, thank you for your time to watch this pitch deck and the prototype presentation. Have a nice day.